Hi, good people. Welcome to Marianali's channel. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I am so happy. I am so glad to be here with you again, doing what I love doing. Okay, so you're so much welcome. And the last time I was here, I talked about religious manipulation. And today, now, I'm just going to continue on that note, but on a different venture, whereby now I'll tell you that if you didn't watch my last video on religious manipulation, you'll find it in my description box. So you watch it, and then now you can connect to whatever I'm going to talk to you about right now. Okay? Yeah. I know what I'm going to talk about is a bit serious. I don't know why I'm playful about it, but now let me get into that serious space. Okay, anyway, now today I want to talk to you about targets of religious manipulation. Targets of religious manipulation. And I just feel like maybe people that will be in this space that I'm about to talk about, or in this group, most with my research, mostly these are the people that are normally targets of religious manipulation. Number one are the children. Okay, take an example of a parent who decides that, okay, it is out of good intention, who decides that now they're going to take their child to be under the care of a religious leader so that the child can grow up to be a good child who knows God more, who has the righteous ways, a child who is obedient, and you know the way each parent really wants their child to end up to be. Okay, so you end up sending your kid to a religious leader so that they can be mentored under this specific religious leader, and now this religious leader ends up now taking an advantage. Especially I'm talking about those religious leaders that are rogue. Okay, not all religious leaders are bad, but we have the ones that are making it, making some people like us talk about it. Okay, so this religious leader ends up sexual abusing that child. Okay, so children are normally the targets most of the time, because you see how you bring up your child, that is how they understand how to grow up in society. Like, that is how they will grow up. In short, that is what I mean. So if a child is being trained into doing something that is of sinister, they even become better in it, because you see now they grow up just knowing that this is my environment, this is how things are. This is like, even the wrong things will seem right to them until the time they'll have self-awareness. Then maybe now you'll see such kids now talking about their experiences when they were younger and what really used to happen to them, and so on and so forth. So kids, or let me say children, are mostly targets of religious manipulation. Okay. Secondly, is these people who are normally emotionally vulnerable. So emotionally vulnerable people, let's say someone has really gone through the hardest stuffs in life. Someone has really gone through it, okay? And they're even at the verge of giving up in life. So these people will find solace solace from a religious leader. And if this religious leader is not someone that is up to the correct task that is required of him or her, they might take advantage of this person. Okay, and I think that is why you see so many stories of religious leaders sexually abusing their congregation, whether it's the men or the women. And if you follow up the story, maybe the guy or the lady just went there to dump their emotional distress and whatever they are going through their life, and decides to be taken, advantage of by these rogue religious leaders. Not all, of course. Okay, yeah. So the vulnerable adults are also targets to religious manipulation. And then the intimate partners are also can be targets of religious manipulation. How? When now religion at that time, let's say there's some sort of issues in that relationship, and then now you find out that as they go, the religion is being used to control one partner. Okay, yeah, in the sense of you are not obeying your partner, and that is why this abuse is happening. So that is one example. And then a verse is being read to you. You need to be obedient. You need to do this and this. You need to be submissive and all that. Not that submissive is a bad thing, but the fact that the statement is being used to manipulate or to to have intimate partners, especially one being controlled and all that. So in the sense, I don't think people really understand. Most people, I don't think they understand what submission is all about. I feel like most understanding of most people, they see submission as control, which is not the case. And that is where everything goes wrong. Yeah. So that is two intimate partners, one partner using the religion and, coming up with a Bible verse and even like not really understanding what it requires of him, or, yeah, especially him, because submission is for the other gender. And now they start using it wrongly to justify their control and abusiveness. That is not cool. So intimate partners can be a target of religious manipulation. People in abusive relationship can also be can also be targets of religious manipulation, especially when there's an abuse and someone is being told to stay, by quoting this and this from the Bible. And you find that now they have not even understood. Sometimes even they don't really understand what they are telling or whatever they are trying to say to this specific person who is being abused. They just, I don't know, like, people need to really understand the Bible well and not to use it in the wrong manner to manipulate people. That is not a good thing. And then when those people who are sick, when they're trying to seek medical attention and all they can hear is, oh, you don't need to go there, trust in prayers, do not go to the hospital, just trust in. And now they're not going to the hospital because they're being told to trust in prayers, and water views and all that, so that bracket of people who are in that condition can be targets of religious manipulation. Okay, and then people who have gone through tough times, they feel like the only solace for them is to go before God and do all. Now they go open up to a religious leader, say the things they've been going through. And like I said, if it goes in the hands of a wrong religious leaders, they get manipulated. They get manipulated into doing things that they're not supposed to be doing. We've seen this, and I know most of you know what normally happens when you get yourself in the hands of a rogue religious leader. Okay. Also, those people who are, I will not say financially stable, but I'll say those people who have it, like have made it, they are rich and all that. Sometimes they also find themselves in the wrong hands of some religious leaders, whereby they end up losing everything they have ever worked for and having it all given to that specific religious leader. And at the end of the day, they are thrown out and they'll be out here in the streets with nothing. And you ask them the story, they tell you some specific religious leader did this and that. I ended up giving everything to them, and at the end of it all, I was thrown out. And just some sort of stories of that kind. So you have to be keen out here so that you don't become a target. Okay, so those are the targets that can easily be religiously manipulated. Okay, so you have to be very careful out here. Okay, the thing I'll tell you is love God with all your heart. Go to your specific place of worship and do it in the right manner, but always carry your head with you in whichever situation that you are in. Don't just let people tell you things that I'm sure by the time you are being manipulated, you have one doubt or another, but just because you have this super belief and trust that this person cannot be doing me wrong, you end up losing your, losing yourself into their hands, or just not really thinking, and now you end up being manipulated. By the time you want to be out of that situation, it's already too late. There's a lot of things that have happened to you, and you just end up making wrong decisions that will be here to make your life the most hardest. Yeah, so just to wrap up, this is what I've said, that the targets of religious manipulation are as follows. We have children, we have vulnerable adults, we have intimate partners, we have those that are in an abusive relationship. You're being told, oh, just pray, it will change, and nothing is changing, but you just keep on holding and waiting for that miracle. And then seeking medical treatment. You're not seeking medical treatment because you know that a miracle is about to happen. What you need to know is that it is God who uses the doctors to heal you, because he also created the doctors and he created the medicine. So the fact that you are leaving your faith in someone's hands, that they are going to heal you and you're not going to the hospital, that is very wrong. You will create serious situations that you could have avoided if you just went to the hospital. So those ones that are seeking medical treatment. Then people who have gone through tough times in life can easily, it creates a state of desperation, and you can say yes to everything, even the things that are going to harm you. Okay. And those that are also rich. Just know that sometimes even those who are about to go after your properties are the ones that are covering themselves with a blanket called religion. So don't just trust and do everything, and you might end up losing everything to them and you are thrown out. Okay, it has happened so many times, so many times to so many people that I don't know of personally, but either I have heard of, read, or even watched. So you need to be very careful. Okay, strive to create a relationship between you and God. Very this is what I'm saying, like strive to make a relationship between you and God, okay, more than striving to make a relationship between you and that religious leader. Like, you should be good with God. I mean, even when the things that you say, the things that you pray, you're just as a human being as that other person, so God can still hear you. Okay, I know as much as they're being used to spread the gospel and all that, which is very good, and it's good work, and that is what I also like. But at least for you, what are you doing for yourself? Don't just let people decide on how your fate will be. Okay, telling you, I don't know what your future will be, and all that. Be someone who has a direct connection with God, so that if you find yourself in the hands of a wrong religious leader, you are alert and you can make a sober decision for yourself. Okay, don't be among the number of those who have died, those who have done the wrong things, those who have found themselves in a space where they can never get out of, or those who are being traumatized because of what they went through. Okay, yeah, so don't be a target. Yeah. All right, so that is the end of this video, and I hope that whatever I've said, you've picked out what you think is gonna suit you, or it's helping you to be able to have, or to be able to know and be aware of it. It doesn't really need to have happened to you, but just knowing these things sometimes helps. Okay. Yeah, and I just want to say, no one is against any religion or any sort of anything that concerns religion. We are just out here to make people to be to be aware of this, to know that this is what is actually happening. Don't wait until it happens for you to realize that you've been in a bad situation. So you need to always have knowledge of these things. Okay. Yeah. And for that, I just want to sign off by telling you this as a food of thought, that anything that is God related will never harm you, or will never have you question it. Okay? And this is something that you should always work with anywhere you go, especially in these worship places. That anything that is God related will never harm you, or you will never have to question it. The moment you get to that position, that's a red flag, and you know what you're supposed to do. Okay. Yeah, so that is food for thought, and I want to wish you a very good time in whichever part of the world that you are in. Have it in the best fabulous way. Okay, so for that, that's a bye guys.